Confessions of an Accountant, where no topic is off the ledger.
My name's Johann Goree. I'm the co-founder and head of community at Engager. Got my own accounting firm that I started in 2017, and we are a team of 30 odd, looking after about 1,000 clients across 2 different brands. We've mainly grown through acquisitions of other accounting and bookkeeping firms. And on top of that, I do a load of podcasting once a week with Ask the Accountant. And I also do a day in the life accountant's vlog every day on YouTube, or every working day that I work on. I'm about 2 weeks into that. I used to do a day in the life weekly vlog, which took far too much effort, editing, putting things together, whereas I now just do a point, shoot, talk, upload, no editing, no intro, no outro, no thumbnails, nothing. But mainly just to do for my own health and well-being. I just decompress at the end of the day, talk through what we're going through with the on point and routes to growth and stuff. And if those insights are useful for everyone listening, then fantastic. If not, I've got a load off my mind before I go downstairs for my dinner. So everybody wins. So we haven't got a PowerPoint or anything like that. I got the unenviable name when I was filming stuff with QuickBooks that Johann is the one-shot wonder. So you don't get him to retake anything, you don't ask him to reword anything, and you don't give him a PowerPoint because he will start stumbling. You just hope that he rambles coherently and he doesn't get himself into trouble with what he says, which is not always the case. But hey-ho, we'll try and behave ourselves today. So I wanted to talk today about sales processes. So basically, as an industry, we have been told, including by people like myself, that accountants and bookkeepers have got their pricing wrong. We need to charge more. We need to charge differently. I've literally written a book. It's the ultimate guide to pricing for accountants and bookkeepers on all good Amazon websites. But it's come to my attention over the last couple of years of working with the Engager team and working with now over 2,000 accounting firms using Engager, that there's a bigger fundamental problem in our firms. The main problem is us, the owners. Accountants and bookkeepers make great accountants and bookkeepers. They don't always make great business owners. And what business owners will do very organically and naturally that accountants and bookkeepers don't do very well is sales. So we're very good at saving money on tax, getting accounts in line, reading the matrix of the ones and zeros in Xero and QuickBooks and stuff to see where the problems are with the bookkeeping. But actually, when it comes to running our firm, we're a bit shy normally on the old sales front. So we've always known it's a weakness of the personality type that generally an accountant or bookkeeper takes. So whenever you look at things like the DISC program and stuff, where you look at personality types and strengths and weaknesses, we are definitely very strong in some areas and weak in others, and a business owner probably needs to be a bit stronger in some of those areas that accountants and bookkeepers' personalities are generally a bit weaker in. But then in looking at that and talking to firms, I realized that there's a bigger problem than just personality and skill sets there. And that's just a general lack of visibility. And it came to my attention that no practice management tool in the space has any real sales flow visibility. Whereas if you look at CRMs in the general CRM market for businesses, whether that's Capsule, HubSpot, Salesforce, they've got this prospect list of names, which every practice manager had in the accounting space, but it was just a list. There was no visibility of opportunities, deals, tracking them through the process. So at Engager, we've now built this, and I've been testing it for 3 weeks in my firm. We kind of showed it off for the first time properly at Accountex, and it's going live Thursday or Friday this week, if not Monday night. Depends if I break it again. So hopefully it's going to go live end of this week, start next week. Um, but in using this in my firm, in testing it, so everything that's built in Engager gets tested in mine and Andy Wainwright's accounting firms, the co-founders' accounting firms first, to make sure it actually works in a day-to-day real life experience. And it really opened my eyes to the problem that I have got in my firm. So I know right now I've got £63,117 worth of deal opportunities sat on my deals board in my firms, right, in one of my firms, not the other one. I've not looked at that. I was just doing the calculation quickly whilst people were doing their introductions. Now, if I asked anyone in this call or anyone in the accounting and bookkeeping world what the value of their opportunities are right now, very few people would be able to go, it's this. So that kind of compounded what I heard and was hearing from everyone about the lack of visibility on sales. But the worst part was when I then went through I got the deals board set up, fed back to the team. These areas need a bit of working. This doesn't quite work in real life this way. The workflow is not quite how it should be. But then I thought, right, I'm going to go back through my WhatsApps, my Facebook messages, my emails for the last 2 months, put on all the deal opportunities that I've had, whether that's current clients needing more services, whether that's new inquiries, whatever it was. And I realized within 20 minutes that I'd lost out in £40,000 worth of business in the last 2 months alone because I didn't have visibility properly. They were all here, there, and everywhere. There were conversations I hadn't followed up with to get them booked in. There was for meetings. There was proposals I'd sent and I hadn't followed up on. There was letters of engagement sent I hadn't followed up on. So it really highlighted to me the pain and the lack of growth in this industry that could be down to the lack of visibility on sales. And the irony is, this isn't a problem for any other industry. Like you go to your local restaurant, they can tell you approximately how many tables they've got booked up for the weekend ahead. You go to the garage where you get your car booked in, they probably know how many MOTs they're going to do in the next 3 months because they're all fully booked. You go to your dentist, he knows what he's going to do next March business wise because he's already just booked you in for next March's appointment. Mm-hmm. So every industry has nailed this apart from us. And no software up till this point has helped us understand it and nail it in this way. What softwares have done is we've had numerous softwares with pricing tools and variations of pricing tools and pricing calculators. We've got that proposal bit in like adding value and making the perception of higher value better than a 20-page A4 printout letter of engagement ever could. We've got the ability to accept a proposal and then sign a letter of engagement and sign up to a direct debit. We've got better and better onboarding processes. But actually, none of that funnel matters if we aren't controlling the start of the funnel with all of our opportunities. So that's been my big realization in the last few weeks is I knew it was bad. I didn't know how bad it was in my firm. And I always say that my team are better accountants and bookkeepers than I'll ever be. The only thing I'm allowed to do anymore in my firm is financial due diligence, business advisory, and self-assessments. That's it. That's all I'm allowed to touch. Everything else I get told off for making a mess. So I'm very much more, I'm a manager, a leader, and a business owner. Mm-hmm. But even with those mindsets, I've missed the start of my sales funnel. Mm-hmm. And as an industry, we need to get better at this. We are, depending on who you speak to, we are at the cusp of a huge opportunity. Now, governing bodies are going to tell you the opportunity is here now. Personally, I think it's next year, and that is MTD income tax. Add to that changes at Companies House, where unrepresented companies are going to start wanting us to file their accounts for the first time because they can't do it directly to Companies House website. They've got to use software. You know, all of these changes are creating, yes, overwhelm for us, but there's opportunity there. Now, I don't know about everyone else, but I know in my firm, across 1,000 clients, only 57 are hit by MTD IT this year. So if we take that as a proportionate percentage, and then we look across the whole of the UK taxpayer market, a very small percent are hit this year. So we're not going to see the surge this year. We're going to get some inquiries, but we're not going to see the surge this year. Over 300 of my clients get hit next year. So 6 times more of my clients get hit next year by MTD IT. And then there's another huge surge the year after that when we drop from 30 to 20. So if you want to capitalize on this, now is the time to get your sales processes nailed. So whilst, yes, just using Engager will help you do this and it'll give you visibility, none of that helps unless you get into good habits and routines. So I've been training my team on this for the last 3 weeks. The annoying part for me is all of this stuff is stuff I've listened to and read in books over the years and just not implemented any of it. So now we are. So now every time my team has a new inquiry call, it's recorded. So we use a software called Vinyl, which is a meeting transcription tool built by for accountants and bookkeepers. Very cool bit of software, and what they're building into it with AI is even cooler. So we record all of those calls. We have a script, not a script, we have a list of talking points that we go through in every discovery call, new inquiry call, whatever you want to call it, where we capture all the information to quote our clients. Now, we don't quote on the call. We say the quote will be with you within 15 minutes. When I did quotes on calls a few years ago now, my conversion rating plummeted because people felt they had, even though they were literally, I stopped it. I said, right, I'm going to go back to all these people that I've spoken to and said no. I said, why did you say no? They said, oh, we just felt compelled to say yes or no there. And then I said, what did I say to make you feel that way? Nothing. You just did us the service of giving the price, and we felt we had to make an instant decision. And we weren't prepared to say yes. We needed to think about it. So we gave you an instant no. So I scrapped that in my firm because we're not talking like £180, £200 a service. We're talking about a £15,000 to £20,000 a year investment in services. And they were saying no to that. So we scrapped that, and we always quote after the call, but straight away while the iron's hot. So the team have now been trained to do that, and we record all those calls. Every client meeting, we record. And at the end of each day, my admin goes into Vinyl, looks at all the client meeting records, goes into each one and asks Vinyl, were there any opportunities to upsell this client? And they also then ask Vinyl, was there any, what was the overall tone and feel of the meeting? Straight away, the AI tells us, oh, that client mentioned cash flow. Do you offer that service to this client? No, we don't. New deal opportunity straight on the deal board. And we're going to go back and say, look, in yesterday's meeting, we chatted through and cash flow was a real pain point. We've had a chat internally. We've come up with this proposal for you to help you with cash flow, or whatever it is the AI has identified as opportunities. Accountants and bookkeepers, we are not natural salespeople. We do not pick up on the cues naturally that people might want to pay more for new services. The AI does that unemotionally. The other benefit of why we say, what's the overall feel and stuff of this meeting is, as humans, we want to be positive about things for the most part, glass half full. So we don't always pick up as accountants and bookkeepers when there's an overall trend of a client not being overly happy. The AI will pick up on that. So there's an opportunity to I create a deal and go, right, we need to go and shore up that service. Maybe they're paying for things they don't need anymore. Maybe we reduce that. But I'd rather reduce someone's bill by £100 a month and keep £1,500 a month worth of income than losing £1,600 altogether a month because there was a bit of a service that they don't really need anymore. I've seen it time and again where people are paying for management accounts and they're a small hairdresser who don't know what the numbers mean, but they got bamboozled into signing up for management accounts, and that was going to be the saving grace for their whole business. Then they leave because we were too expensive compared to someone down the road who was cheaper. Well, actually, we were the same price if we got rid of management reports. So we're always looking at opportunities there to shore up our income as well as find additional opportunities. So we're already having all these meetings. We're now recording this information, we're tracking it, etc. Every time there's a new opportunity, there's a deal card made. We make that in Engager so we can track it all the way through. Sometimes it goes into the keep in touch column. Other times it goes to lost. I've had people reach out this year. I had 3 people in the space of 3 weeks reach out to me, say, Johann, we met you 6 years ago at a BNI meeting. Our accountants just died. Could we come on board with you? You don't know when someone's going to come back to you.
Wow.
Like, we've had people sign up in the last 2 years that I met for the first time in 2017 and haven't really spoken to since. You don't know when these opportunities are going to come back. But what I do know is you've not got a list of them and you're not updating them with insightful information. Mm-hmm. So last week, whilst I sat and moaned on my vlog about the media stunt that was Rachel Reeves' public announcement about VAT being announced before HMRC could even give any kind of written guidance out, which came 24 hours later. So there's absolutely no need. She was just trying to buoy up the media while she could. I was having flashbacks to COVID. It was traumatizing. I missed the announcement. I was at a meeting, a speaking thing, came out, looked at my emails. Clients had exploded my inbox. What does this mean for me? What's this? What's that? I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. What's all this? Went to the news and then found out.
Yeah.
But that night, an email went out to every single one of my clients and over 300 prospects explaining what that meant. So that's 300 prospects that have just had a touch point from me going, Christ, he's reactive. He's really jumped onto that. My accountant's been a week now and they've not spoken to me about this. Maybe I should. It's a thought process. So keep a list of your prospects. Keep a list of your deals, even if that's a keep in touch option. And that way you've always got visibility, because you don't know when someone's going to come back to you from years gone by at a random networking meeting. You just don't know when the time's going to be right. And it's all about timing sales. You could send out thousands of leaflets every single week. And 32 weeks later, someone finally goes, you know what? I need your help. Oh, what's changed? My accountant's been missing in action for 3 weeks. My accountant's passed away. My accountant's shut down. Like, they'd have had your emails, your leaflets 32 times over 32 weeks, and the pain point's not been there. But the moment the pain point's there, if you're there or in their recent memories, you've got every opportunity.
Can I just ask, when you're sending out community, like say, for example, that the VAT one that's thrown at you, do you have a dedicated person, or for the communication, did you have like, oh, I'll put that through to our comms manager who's going to create this wonderful thing, or a technical expert, or did you just write it in plain English and use the software to be able to send it out?
My comms expert did it. His name's Claude.
Oh, wow. Were you not scared he would get something wrong though? Because this is the thing with AI.
No, because I can proofread it, can't I?
I know, but I don't know, maybe it's the whole perfection thing. You think if I don't mention a fundamental point, if I word it in a slightly incorrect way.
But also, this is going to prospects.
Yeah.
They are not accountants and bookkeepers.
Yeah.
Our biggest issue as an industry is we go too technical and too much jargon. So my instruction to Claude was, so I gave Claude the BBC, the ITV, and the Sky's News cover links for their articles on this, because I don't want to be seen as mainstream media versus the other. So I've got a nice general overview. And my instruction is I always say, explain the VAT changes in plain English that a normal business owner will understand. Buff, done. So literally in under 10 minutes, I got 3 links, put it into Claude, told it what I wanted it to do. It gave me 2 different email suggestions. I took one, copied and pasted it into Engager. Bulk sent it to over 1,000 clients, and bulk sent it to 300 prospects.
Bosh.
Done. I could have spent 3 hours trying to write that email, then putting it through Grammarly, realizing that my dyslexia has kicked in and I can't write or spell. But now I use Claude.
Do you never get complaints though, because potentially you sent it to clients that it wasn't important to or didn't relate to them specifically? Do you know? Stop sending me emails about things you don't know.
Get out of your own head, basically. Literally, find me someone that probably doesn't want to know about a 10p increase in the mileage rate. And the change of VAT. Even if I'm not running a hospitality business, I'm now thinking, oh, might be 5% cheaper for me to take the family out this summer.
True. Simple as that.
In a context, it's relevant information to them. Now, whether they all read it or not, different matter. But I'm in their inbox. And the biggest challenge we have as an industry is trying to find reasons to be in someone's inbox. Like the best time for growth in my firm was COVID. Every Friday, we put out an email to everybody saying, Boris and Sunak are going to be stood on their podiums at 6 o'clock tonight. Our team are ready. We are working late. Here is a link to book a 10-minute slot in one of our diaries. And the link started an hour after the announcement. And we worked till 1 o'clock every Saturday morning taking meeting calls. Because Sunak and Boris would stand there. This is what's happening with furlough. This is what's happening with bounce back loans. Clients and prospects were stressed. They couldn't get hold of their accountants. Some accountants had just gone, well, we've got to work from home. We haven't got any infrastructure for that. Just closed the doors, didn't communicate to anyone. So Christ, chair's completely gone now. So we were there. We were ready to respond and facilitate that support. I have clients that were with me at COVID and have said, we will never leave you because of what you did during COVID. They never quibble my price increases each year. They never quibble my advice. And they always recommend us.
Wow.
Because we went above and beyond at a time of pain. So what we were saying was, we're always looking for a reason to be in our clients' inboxes. And talking about random stuff doesn't really interest people. Whereas things like Thursday, yes, it's a pain in the backside. Yes, I wish they'd give us guidance when it was at the time that they make the announcement, because the first thing we're going to get is that announcement. What does it mean for you? It's like, I don't know. I've watched it at the same time as you. I don't have a direct line to Rachel Reeves. She doesn't give me a heads up. This is coming. But there's an opportunity to support, advise, and sell. Like we've had 2 clients that do their own VAT returns that have just come back and said, can you start doing my VAT returns? I'm nervous about this change.
Really?
Absolutely, we can.
Yeah.
Like, we're on it. We're here for you. So we need to be taking these opportunities, basically, because doing a weekly blog on your website, it doesn't cut it.
No.
I do 2 blogs a week on Substack about buying a business and financial due diligence and stuff. I've got over 1,000 subscribers to that. I think I've had 1 inquiry in 3 months from it. But it keeps me there on Google and stuff. It keeps me present. It demonstrates my expertise. I can refer people to it. It's great. It's not a lead generator. No. Blogs on your websites, especially generic written ones from some marketing company who sent the same blog to everyone on their accountant's mailing list, by the way, doesn't help anybody. You contacting people and going, did you see this? Here's what your accountant should be saying. Or here's what we're telling you as your accountants and bookkeepers. These are our opportunities to sell.
Yeah.
But again, they're redundant if we don't track our sales. So I've just said COVID was the best time for our firm ever for growth. I think it could have been better. I don't know how much better, but I'm now sat there going, hang on, if I've lost £40,000 of annual revenue opportunities in 2 months, that's £20,000 a month. I've been running for 9 years. Now, we're in the strongest point we have ever been now for new revenue. But even if I said, like, right, we'll start off with £500 a month back 9 years ago and we gradually increase it, how much money have I thrown away by not having visibility on this? And all it took was a Kanban board in Engager to show us it all.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say they don't want to grow their practice. They don't want to employ people, and that's all fine. We've all got bills to pay though. All the software costs are going up. All of our cost of livings are going up. We need to earn more from our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You either take on new clients or you take on better paying clients and lose lower paying clients to do that. And ultimately, no matter how good we are, clients are going to churn.
Yeah.
Clients exit their businesses. In life, you've got 2 certainties, death and taxes. As a business owner, we've got a third, and that is we will exit our business. Mm-hmm. Our clients will exit their business. Mm-hmm. Whether it's under a bus, a planned retirement, and they just shut the business down, a planned exit, and they sell the business. Whatever it is, they will exit their business. And the risk is that's a one less client for us. So even firms that are really happy and they just want to continue as they are need to be able to manage their incoming inquiries so they can maintain the status quo. Radical idea out there. If you're really happy with where your business is and actually you don't want any more inquiries, why don't you set up an agreement with another firm that's very similar to yours but more looking for bigger to become bigger and get a referral fee? Any inquiries that I get that I don't want to take on because I'm happy where I am, I'm going to pass to you, and I want 10% of their monthly amount for as long as they stay with you. With 10%, without doing anything apart from here you go. That's not a bad little earner, is it?
Very nice. Can I ask, Lauren's popped a question in and said, when you're collecting the prospect's contact information at the point of their initial contact, are you having to get them to sign something or tick a box to say that you can send them emails in the future? And if so, does that have an expiry? Because she's avoided all of it because of having to think about GDPR.
So what you'll notice about the emails that I've sent to my prospects is they're informative, not marketing.
Okay.
So GDPR prevents you from being marketed to.
Yeah.
However, they're a prospect on my list because they've shown a genuine interest in the services that I offer. Mm-hmm. So I can send them an informative email without breaching GDPR. Oh. So I can go, FYI, the VAT rates have changed. FYI, the self-assessment bandings have changed.
Yeah.
And that's not, as long as it's informative and there's no sales pitch, that's okay.
So you just don't have the line at the end. Can you even say if you need help or want advice or want to speak about it?
You can do that with a booking link. What you can't do is go, I've just launched a whole new cash flow service and send that to my 300, because they've not asked about that.
Yeah.
They've not agreed to be marketed about a new service or a new product. Mm-hmm. But what you can do without breaching GDPR is send them informative emails with factual information that is in line with what the fact that they've expressed an interest in an accounting or bookkeeping service. Mm-hmm. And also, on all of the emails that I send from Engager, there's an opt-out at the bottom, which then stops you from being able to email them again if they opt out.
Presumably that's just the prospect, so because if it's a current client and they opted out, they lose all access to their...
So a current client can opt out of all the marketing emails because in Engager, when you send an email, you're asked, is it a marketing email or is it a informative email?
Okay.
And if you say marketing, it automatically removes anyone that's opted out of marketing.
With you. Can I also ask myself, you said about obviously a lot of your clients love you so much they refer you. Do you reward referrals in any way to your existing clients, or do you?
No,
No?
no, because I don't want fake referrals.
Okay.
So the beauty of referrals is if someone loves and trusts you and they refer you, it's because they know that you are the right fit for that person that they're referring you to, or they're referring to you.
Yeah.
If I start going, I'll give you all 50 quid for any referrals you put my way.
Yeah.
Like even in Amazon vouchers, whatever it is, you start getting junk.
Okay.
Like you get bad prospects, bad clients. And would you say no to a prospect if they've been referred to you by a client? Of course you're not going to. That's going to upset the client. Like, sorry, I didn't take Jim on. You might like him. I don't, so you're not going to get your 50 quid Amazon voucher.
Yeah.
It's not a conversation you want to have.
No.
So we don't do any referral benefits, as it were.
Fantastic. I'm just aware we've got just over 10 minutes. If people have got questions for Johann, feel free to come on mic and ask him directly, or raise a hand, whatever you prefer. I have a whole list of questions I've been writing as we go along, but I don't want to take up anyone else's opportunity to ask. But at the moment, we look good. So in terms of identifying the extra opportunities for work, is that done all via your new system of using vinyl? Because if you weren't using vinyl, it potentially can be difficult to identify, especially if there's more than just one person working in the practice, to identify the opportunities for existing clients.
So we work on a pod system in OnPoint and Rich Growth. So we have a client manager who is normally the best client managers I find are like level 3 AAT.
Yeah.
They know enough to answer the client's questions, but they're not so knowledgeable that they just talk jargon and foreign language to the client.
Yes.
So that's a real sweet spot. And then each client manager has a bookkeeper or two. We've got a payroll department that does everyone's payroll. We've got an accounts and tax department that does everyone's accounts and tax. Now, in the long run, will each pod have a payroll person and each pod have an accounts and tax person? Potentially. But we're not at that stage yet.
Yeah.
So the client managers were always responsible for recognizing opportunities. But as accountants and bookkeepers, as I said earlier, we're not always great at picking up on these sign language, on these body languages and these signals that someone's interested in spending more money. And when we do pick up on it, we do it for free.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get that mortgage certificate done for you, no problems.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably should have charged you for my time on that.
Yeah.
Or the value that I decide it's worth, because without this, you're not getting the house of your dreams.
Yes.
So we pick up on it. When we do pick on it, we tend to do it for free, or we feel nervous about positioning another charge. And 9 out of 10 times we don't pick up on it. So we miss opportunities. Whereas now with using AI, we don't miss that opportunity as often.
Yeah. Cool. And do you find, obviously, like you said, you're setting up all this tech of like the vinyl, and then you've got obviously the engagement. Do you need, if someone's on the call today or watching this on the replay and they say, oh, I'm not technical at all, I've managed it all just in my mind up until now, I know who my clients are and that kind of thing. If they wanted to take the next step forward and put in some proper systems, do you have to be particularly tech savvy, or is a lot of this plug and play? Does it naturally integrate?
Loads of it's plug and play. Most softwares build their software because they know the end user is not particularly tech savvy.
Yeah.
So it should always be plug and play. Yeah.
Does your vinyl, for example, talk to Engager in any way, or is that a manual extraction?
It's a manual extraction at the moment.
Okay. I can see by your eyes, you're like, oh, maybe in the future, though, that'll work.
No, there's been a conversation.
Yeah. Cool.
Whether that will happen, when it will happen, how it will happen, I don't know. But yeah, it's at the moment, it's manual extraction.
Yeah. And did you use AI to create your script? When you said obviously everyone has the same script, so it's the same experience regardless of whoever picked up the phone or answers the email. Did you create it yourself, or is it an AI thing, or
Both. So I went through. I gave Claude all the questions that we need to answer as part of a pricing thing.
Yeah.
Claude put that into a nice structured, organically sounding flow of talking points to try and capture all the information we need, ready for us to quote.
Nice.
Like Claude and ChatGPT are your best friend. When was it? 3 weeks ago. So the week before Accountex, I was going out to Spain for a speaking slot in Marbella. I did very well. I managed to make two 30-minute speaking slots last 4-day trip. So I was very pleased with myself. But my alarm was set for 3:45 in the morning because it was a 6 a.m. flight. I woke up at 2 a.m. because you never sleep well, do you, when you know you've got an early alarm? Looked at my alarm, went back to sleep. Then I had an idea of a new service for on-point accounting. By 5:30 in the morning, I'd got up, grabbed my bags, got the taxi, got to the airport, went through security. I sat in the airport lounge and I had a whole web page built for this whole service. I'd already gone through and built the free packages I was going to offer. What was and wasn't included. I'd created all the copy for all of this website. I'd fleshed out all the phases and I'd built it in Engager. Claude did 90% of it.
It's actually, Irene's just asked, do you think that Claude is better than ChatGPT, or do you use them both equally?
So I used ChatGPT to start with. I now use Claude for everything work related. I just think the outputs are better. It's better thought through responses and stuff. ChatGPT I still use, but it's when I've ruined a recipe at home, how do I save it? Because that's not the type of thing I want to ask to work. Home and work, different lives.
And Chaya's just asked, what did you build the landing page on?
So the landing page, Claude designed the whole thing, like looks and everything. And I spent 15 minutes on my WordPress website building it out, copying the content, putting the buttons where it told me to, everything.
That's mental. Oh, she said thank you for that. Kate's got a question. About benchmarking on fees. Did you want to come off mic, Kate, and ask your question?
Yeah, so I've recently moved to Engager, and one of the biggest things is when I do fees, as well as other accountants, I'm not really sure what to charge. Like, what do other people charge? It's like this benchmark. Is there something out there that we can look at, or because
what there is?
Well, okay, I didn't know that.
So, if you go to www.engager.app/PG, there is a free pricing guide that you can download where I go through. This was like a weekend project of mine a couple of years ago in November. I went through every service and I went through and basically did the research for you all, which tells you these are the different metrics that most accountants and bookkeepers are using on average to price a VAT return or whatever it is. And this is the pricing range we see for this type of service.
Okay, fair.
So that's a free guide. Then I went down a complete rabbit hole and wrote the book, The Ultimate Pricing Guide for Accountants and Bookkeepers, which is on Amazon, where I expand on all of that and look at the psychology of overcoming challenges and pricing and how to word your price changes and stuff with clients and different things like that.
Thank you. I'll have a look at that.
I get involved in things and they spiral.
Yeah, but it's definitely worthwhile. I think we know our skills, but like you say, we don't have the personalities necessarily to sell them. And then you think, well, if I sell it like I'm amazing, like I believe I can be, they'll think I'm big-headed. Or maybe what if I don't deliver? And we second question ourselves and we back it out. And it's so much of it's psychology more than anything else.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times it's our own mindset.
Yeah.
So there's there's two books accountants and bookkeepers should read. That's completely nothing to do with our industry, but works a treat. So the first book they're both by a guy called John Lamberton.
Mm-hmm.
The first book, I read it, and well, I didn't. I listened to it because being dyslexic, reading is a nightmare. I hate it, so I listen to books.
Yeah.
I read it and listened to it in 2017. I listen to it every year without fail, and I still get reminded and recapped and new ideas out of it. And that's called Big Ideas for Small Businesses. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fantastic book. Really nice guy, lives down in Plymouth. What he talks about, loads of it's transferable into the accounting industry. He then did a couple more books, which they're good, but they're not my thing. His latest book that came out this year, every accountant bookkeeper should be reading, called Retention First.
Okay.
So I listened to it thinking, favorite author, I'm going to enjoy this. I was scribbling down notes for hours. I've got, as much as I love my tech, I've got a notepad that I take with me everywhere, my notebook, and that's where I brainstorm everything. I've got a chair in the back of my office where I do my vlogs from, and I sit and brainstorm on my notebook. I've got another notebook that I take with me for when I'm listening to books, and I write down all the ideas out of my books that I've come up with. I was there for hours. I then spoke to my operations manager and my practice manager and said to them both, right, I'm paying for your Audible subscriptions in the hope that you're going to listen to 1 or 2 business books every month. Listen to this one. Days later, we had a whole retention first policy written, and we're revamping our processes, our systems, everything. So instead of looking for new business, which yes, we want to do, we're tracking opportunities for new business from our current customers, but also making them so sticky that they don't want to leave. The best example is Amazon. Like you went to Amazon once to buy something for £2.50. How many hundreds of thousands of pounds have you each spent with Amazon since? Like, they make it easy. And that's what we need to do with our accounting and bookkeeping firms. We need to make it easy for them to sign up and to stay signed up and to keep adding more services with us.
Wow, that's incredible. Irene's asked, can you pop the web address in the chat for her for the benchmarking that you mentioned to Kate, please? You're literally just a wealth of information, honestly. People, I think, are very, very, well, I feel very lucky to speak to you because you've just pretty much tried most things and have expertise to share in so many aspects. It's absolutely incredible. Did anyone have in the last minute any follow-up final questions for Johann before we release him back to his practice? Chaya, yes, we will be putting the recording up in YouTube in the next week or two. Kate has just downloaded the books you've recommended on Audible, and I have made a note of them, so I'll be doing the same.
Chaya asked if I then marketed that new idea. So I didn't. The genius behind that new idea was it was an advancement. So we do a lot of work with financial due diligence. I speak once or twice a month for a business coach who coaches and mentors business acquisitions. Yeah. And I talk about the whole financial due diligence process and stuff. So if I go to speak at one of those gigs, I can walk away with one job for a week that can last can earn between £4,000 and £15,000 for us. So it's a really good return on investment, that. So my new idea was I wanted to take that further. And yes, we do always plug bookkeeping, accounting and payroll once they brought the business. But we wanted a bit more of a cash lump sum at the start. So we came up with the Smart Start process where we get them all set up within the first 90 days of taking over the business. We get them a 3-year cash flow forecast. We get them management accounts. We get them up to speed with all their processes and systems. We have X amount of check-ins depending on the package they go for. So that now means one inquiry from this group of people, which there's 1,200 people in, goes from an initial consulting call for £200 to like a home reports type thing, valuation on a business for £300, to financial due diligence that could be anywhere between £4,000 and £15,000, It was then onto like a monthly subscription. With the businesses these size, we were looking at £1,000 to £1,500 a month. And now I've plugged in a new service that can earn us between £4,500 and £8,500 on day one. So I've just found another way to that retention thirst thing. I've got them. I just need to keep giving them things they can buy.
Yes.
So we marketed to clients that have already had financial due diligence and stuff from us. So I went for a subset of my client base.
Yeah. Wow. Right. Well, we must allow you to go, but thank you so much. I think you are so incredibly generous with all your knowledge and your expertise. Anyone that isn't already following, which I think everyone is, absolutely everyone is following Johann on LinkedIn, please do give him a follow and look at, remind us again, you've got the Pit Stop podcast.
Yeah, so we've got Ask the Accountant, which is on YouTube,
where
we also put all sorts of content that we create at live events, and we interview lots of people as well and put that on there. If you search me on YouTube, Johann Goree, that's where I do my daily vlogs. Subscribe, put your comments in. It's a 10 to 15 minute talk chat thing where I just download my day and I tell you what I'm playing with softwares wise and stuff like that. And people can ask questions in the comments and I come back to them and stuff. Like, there's nothing I know that no one else can know. Like, there's nothing intellectual property wise about it. Like, I just read and listen and observe and take it in and then regurgitate it. So yeah, I'm very open about sharing everything I do because copying me is just the ultimate flattery, isn't it? There's a saying about that or something. You
are the absolute expert in field. I think you're the most generous person in the industry. And I know that not only I, but a lot of people quite often are spamming your inbox asking you, have you tried this one yet? What did you think of that? And usually it's not, oh, I haven't heard of that. It's always, yes, I have. And it did or it didn't work. And this is why. So thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we will give you a break from Confessions for a while, but we'll have you as a returning guest one day because I'm sure.
Love to come back.
All love to see an update on the new prospects in Engager, and I'm very much looking forward to it being popped in there myself. So if you're not using Engager, make sure you have a look. It is a fabulous product and it was a game changer for me and my firm. So thank you very much, everybody, and hopefully if you're available, we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next Confessions.
Confessions of an Accountant, where no topic is off the ledger.